Uh, before we get into today's video, let's go ahead and get some of this depressing wrestling news out of the way. So, this video is being recorded on Friday the 17th, and it's been, I would say, a while, but that's lightly. It's been a brutal 48 hours in the world of professional wrestling because we could go from uh from what happened recently to earlier. So uh, April April 16th, yesterday, Thursday, April 16th, it was reported by WWE.com and various news sites that the legendary ring announcer for WWE, Howard Finkel, passed away. Passed away 69, which that would normally be, that number would normally be hilarious, but in this context, it's kind of sad. Of course, Finkel was one of the greats. The the first first ring announcer for WWE, and it's a shame to see him gone. But our our condolences from we the Three Count Mafia send our condolences to his loved ones. May he rest in peace. And then the news that had the world buzz, the professional wrestling world buzzing. Um, Wednesday, April 15th, at about noonish, there was just a massive, just layoff, or they use the word furlough, but I prefer to call it leave of absence. But yeah, WWE just laid off a bunch of people or sent them away on absence, and yeah, it rocked the wrestling world, and it's a it's God, it's a just a big load of people. So just gonna go ahead and it's not really didn't really list a whole lot of everyone, but yeah, there was a big number of on-screen talent and backstage talents that were, well, yeah, backstage producers that were just kind of either given the axe or told to go away for a while. So just briefly run through them. Kurt Angle, who was as a backstage producer, Rusev, Drake Maverick, who was kind of the main talking point of this whole thing because he was the first one to react, get a video out, and it was very just heartbreaking. You just hear him break down on camera. It's awful. Of course, Zack Ryder, who is just he's been there with the company since his humble beginnings as a henchman to Edge, and it's kind of weird that they release him. Of course, with him goes Kurt Hawkins, and then Anderson and Gallows, which it's a shame, but yeah, the real shocking one was Heath Slater, because or one of the shocking ones was Heath Slater, because Slater has been with the company since the Nexus season of NXT, back when it was that competition show, and he pretty much survived everything that every crap creative that was thrown his way. The burial of the Nexus, the Core, 3MB, Social Outcast. He managed to survive them all, and then yeah, there's Eric Young, who just kind of got the raw end of the deal as far as all the sanity people goes. Because Nikki Cross, current uh, women's tag team champion, Big Damo featured attraction on NXT. Alexander Wolf, member of Imperium on UK. Yeah, Eric Young kind of got the raw end of the deal. Rowan, weren't doing much with him before release. He just kind of got made a fool in that little match against Drew McIntyre. Sarah Logan, who was on this past Monday night, went out kayfabe wise on a broken arm, and then got released a couple of days later. Noe Jose, who I feel bad for Noe Jose, like legitimately, because there was I think he posted about it on on his Instagram and his Twitter, his socials, talking about how he caught empty planes and bus rides to get to Orlando for the Performance Center show this past Monday, and then 2 days later got nixed. Um, Mike Chioda, referee Mike Chioda, who has been with the company for almost 30 years, they they nixed him, and that's ooh, you would think that would have been one of the guys they would have kept, but yeah. Of course, Mike and Maria Kanellis, which uh, I'll get to what I was gonna say later on. EC3, Aiden English, Leo Rush, Primo and Epco, who I legitimately forgot worked there. Har har har, but seriously. Aside from them, there were some extra releases on some lesser known talents, such as MJ Jenkins and Deanna Parazzo from NXT, as well as one of the developmental guys. Of in the backstage capacity, I may miss a name or two, but uh, they let go Fit Finley, Lance Storm, Billy Kidman, who had been there since the WCW buyout, Shane Helms, um, Mike Rotunda, Sean Navari, and the one that really got me the most was Josiah Williams, who, if you're not aware of him, he's on YouTube as WrestleFlow. He does these great remixes of wrestle themes where he raps over them, and it's incredible. WWE hired him on as content creator, and he did some interview bits, and yeah, he even rapped out Adam Cole to the ring in one of the takeovers, which was very reminiscent of his first WrestleFlow project. And is like, yeah, they signed one of the guys from the fan community, and then yeah, but just really heartbreaking. And to all those folks that were released, the timing absolutely sucks. Like, worst time to be released, because everything's unsteady right now. But I promise you, when this passes, this whole madness passes, and wrestling picks back up after some of these companies recoup some of their losses, the pastures are going to be straight green. I don't like the fact that they lost their jobs, but I do like the fact that the folks that weren't getting camera time can finally go out and reinvent themselves, because a lot of these folks were recently signed to big money deals. Basically that whole McMahon mentality of, no, 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 we need you because you're important. Turns out they only keep them because there were other companies looking to sign them. But since it's pretty much winter for the wrestling landscape, and nobody's buying any talent, then it's just all right, cut them loose. And again, it's a real shame. But now once everything goes back to the norm, it'll be greener pastures for some of these people. And some of these guys and gals that got released, they're trying to look at this positively. Putting aside their heartbreak for a moment, trying to be positive. And to all those ladies and gentlemen that got cut and released, just want to say thank you for your time, thank you for your effort, thank you for everything, and hopefully, hopefully everything's going to be right as rain. Just, yeah. So got that all out of the way. It turned into a little bit of a rant, but on with the show. Greetings from isolation. Hi, everybody. Okay, yeah, that was starting to fog up my shades. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to the bunker. No, this isn't quarantine. This is 3 Count Studios. I'm War Machine MJ, and I'm back from my little sabbatical. Yeah, decided to take 2 weeks off post Mania, not do any content, just kind of flush out all the old content I hadn't touched. But don't worry, there is going to be we are going to catch up on, or I say we, but rather I'm going to catch up on paper reviews. Just going to have to get Rodimus's notes. Uh, we're not on isolation or self quarantine. It's pretty much our schedules are out of whack. So when I'm off, Rod's got to work, or when Rod's got to work, I'm off. You know how it is. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about the well. This one felt more like a it felt more like a fresh start than last week's Raw After Mania. Nothing really happened on Raw After Mania last week. Yeah, nothing really. It just kind of felt like the NXT Takeover Fallout episode, or the Fallout episode of Takeover, or NXT TV. There we go. It's 9 in the morning. I can't get my words together. Anyways, I'm here today to talk about the April 13th episode of Monday Night Raw, the homecoming of the new WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. Let's go ahead and kick things off with said WWE champion, Drew McIntyre, who basically talked about you know, his climb back into the WWE, becoming NXT champion, and before he could even finish his rhetoric, the United States champion Andrade El Idolo made his return to Monday nights. Basically, yeah, basically they were looking to fight the new WWE champion, and Andrade and Zelina Vega made it clear that they cost Drew McIntyre almost everything the first time around in NXT, and they're looking to do it again. But Drew McIntyre is looking to make sure that history does not repeat itself. Next, we had the first of 3 Money in the Bank qualifying matches for the women's Money in the Bank. First off, we had Ruby Riott taking on the MVP of this whole empty arena situation, Asuka. Asuka's been an absolute treat since they've been having these empty arena shows, because she just goes out there and does her. I mean, she'll get on commentary, just start spouting Japanese rhetoric. She'll get on the announce table and just start grooving and shouting at people. or when people are, coming out, she'll just start grooving to their entrance music, and it's awesome. I love it. Anyway, yeah, both these ladies put on an excellent showing, but Ruby Riott really sealed her defeat when she asked for the real Asuka, and Asuka then just proceeded to demolish Ruby Riott, locking in the Asuka lock and punching her ticket to Money in the Bank as the first entrant into the match. Next, we had Aleister Black taking on Oni Lorcan, and this was a fairly decent match. Aleister Black got the victory over Oni Lorcan, and it was made known later on in the night that there were 3 men's qualifying matches. Next week, we're going to get Rey Mysterio taking on Murphy. Almost called him Buddy for a second there. Aleister Black taking on All Day Austin Theory. And of course, the man who announced the 3 matches, MVP, will be taking on Apollo Crews. Next, we had the man slash my future ex-wife slash longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, going on a year and some change, baby. Basically, talking about her match at WrestleMania where she, well, let's just say what it was. She narrowly escaped Shayna Baszler. But, yeah, she... But then she, yeah, she put all of the Money in the Bank participants or participant hopefuls on notice, basically vowed that she had a plan for anybody planning on cashing in. Next, we had a quite, well, looking back on, well, compared to the news we know now, which, again, this is Friday, versus what happened Monday. Pretty much a decisive, or divisive, I should say, match finish. Money in the Bank qualifying match number 2. Shayna Baszler taking on Sarah Logan. Match ended in referee stoppage because Shayna broke Sarah Logan's arm. And then she left off in a huff. Obviously still upset over losing to the man. But there's a slight slip as it was announced that Sarah Logan had won, but commentary corrected the ring announcer. Next, Austin Theory taking on Akira Tozawa. So I've kind of toned back on it because I really haven't paid much attention to him. But now I want to change my catchphrase from "shut the hell up" to "fire that motherfucker." Jerry Lawler making an absolutely just a Jim Cornette level call, because during the match, Akira Tozawa went from his senton from the apron to the outside, drilling Austin Theory on the ringside. Jerry Lawler had the absolute audacity. I don't know if he was trying to be funny or what his problem was, but he called the move a ramen noodle moonsault. First of all, that's not even the right move name. Second of all, putting aside my wrestling nerdness, that is racist as hell. Like I'm legitimately pissed because that's just that is fucking tone deaf. Like, Like that is racist as hell. And the reason why I call it a Jim Cornette call is because he did the exact same thing on NWA Power. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but it was pretty damn racy. God. And you know that's another thing. We complained about JR, you know, kind of taking the piss out of AEW. The man's starting to have a little bit of fun over there at All Elite. Like he's starting to, he's starting to unwind. Like he's starting to take his job seriously now. It's a breath of fresh air compared to the stale air that is Jerry Lawler. Please fire this motherfucker. Honestly. No, Vince isn't going to do that. He'll just going to give him a slap on the wrist. Anyway, all day Austin Theory put Akira Tozawa away with the ATL, the Austin Theory launcher. Just a TKO. Afterwards, Zelina Vega and her other two clients, Andrade, El Idolo, and Angel Garza, beat down on Akira Tozawa. So yeah, they beat him down and they stood over his fallen carcass and did the LIJ fist pose. Because, or no, they weren't. They weren't. LIJ is New Japan. Same faction, just different company. I think it was just Los Ingr, just LI from Triple A. No, not Triple A. CMLL. There we go. Because New Japan works with CMLL. Okay, all right. We got it. Next, speaking of the aforementioned Angel Garza, he took on NXT talent Tahuti Miles. Tahuti. Naturally, this this match didn't end long because Angel Garza just toyed around with Tahuti Miles and beat him with the wing clipper. Afterwards, of course, Theory and Andrade came down, beat down Tahuti Miles, and then they did the LI fist pose. Yeah, it's just LI. Next, we had match qualifier number 3, Nia Jax taking on Kairi Sane. Nia Jax won. And what was the name of the move? Oh, just the Annihilator. Oh. Wish they'd keep the Rampage on her. That's a fitting move for her. Next, Charlotte Flair promo. Had the TV muted because I got sick of hearing her talk about herself. Yeah, basically she sent a message to the next in line, Little Miss Io Shirai, who won the 6-woman ladder match on last week's NXT. Next, we had Bobby Lashley taking on No Way Jose. Not much to say here except for, yeah, this little union between Bobby Lashley and Lana. The honeymoon phase is over, and Bobby Lashley may be looking to get himself a new wife. Because Lana was on the ringside shouting directions at Lashley. Lashley had to stop his match, get down to the ring apron, and tell her to shut the hell up. And then he speared No Way Jose for the win. Yeah, Paradise is over. Next, we had Viking Raiders defeating the hot new tag team, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Yeah, no surprise. And finally, in the main event, we had Drew McIntyre taking on Andrade. Of course, Drew McIntyre got the victory. Of course, he beat up on Austin Theory and Angel Garza. Afterwards, as soon as the bell rang, Garza, in theory, chop blocked McIntyre, which led to McIntyre getting stomped out by the Monday Night Messiah, who's clearly got his sights set on the WWE Championship. And the as the show closed, as it went to black, Seth Rollins geared up for another stomp, and he stomped out the WWE Champion. So, pulling the trigger on this. Can't wait. Anyway, that is Monday Night Raw. Basically, a more impactful Monday Night Raw than the Raw after Mania. So, that being said, if you miss Rod's opinions, he is filming new episodes of Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime from quarantine. Go check him out. It is on the Castbox app. You don't get to see his ugly face, but you get to hear his opinions. That being said, I'm War Machine MJ, the face of the 3 Count Mafia, and I will see you guys next time. Bang!